Working very hard, but very happily as well. We've been preparing for a new short film for the last 4 weeks, and we shot it. We shot part of it 3 days ago, and I'm a little tired, I have to admit, but very happy with the results.
Yeah, well, it's usually the feeling one gets after finishing a few days of shooting. It's very tired, but then with the feeling of having realized something that was on our shoulder, and then we
totally, absolutely, yeah. Yes.
Well, I'm glad to have your film in our festival this year. It is a small, it is a short,
Yeah.
Because you try to tell a story very simple, very common, that happens to I suppose many people. Yet you provided all the twist elements to make it a comedy, so that we can laugh at the character and also the situation, because it's a kind of situation now in these days very common. But I'll let you talk about it and tell me what brought you to this idea. And,
Yes, well, what brought me to this idea is it happens to me. It happens to me. As you said, it happens to everybody. It happens to me. I really hate it when it happens to me. You know, it's one of those things. It's like, why am I repeating myself so much? Why am I trying to edit this audio? It's such a stupid thing, you know, not wanting to make a mistake or not wanting to offend anybody and that kind of thing. You know, the times we live in nowadays with all this. And I just thought about it. I just thought, well, I want to write something to do with this, and the idea was that, and then just take it to the extreme. Just take it to, like, if I had more budget, I would have put it in space. You know what I mean? I would have, if I had more money, the thing would have the surreal situations would have gone on and on and on and on and on. Obviously, I didn't have a lot of money to make it, but that was the point, you know, just to make it more and more absurd and make it grow and take it out of the normal, you know.
Yeah, and then you're probably tackling also this situation which happens to many of us, where we are still adjusting to the technology, but with an education from another period where, as a matter of fact, we were trying to do things cautiously. Not we don't want to hurt people. We don't want to. We want to get a message across, but in a subtle way. Maybe this is starting now to change. Younger people would, maybe step into because they're very. They want to get fast to anything, you know. They don't have really time to
be polite.
Spend so much time on one case, you know.
Yeah. Yes. As you said, all this new technology, all these new social networks and all this connectivity is so new and is growing so fast and is changing so fast. And we're all adapting to it. I think the new generations are a little bit more used to it, and they're a little bit more blunt about it. You know, they're like, okay, I'm not going to waste time with this, blah blah blah. You know, and probably that's the healthier way of doing it. Maybe, do you know? Like I sometimes work with younger people, younger actors, or younger people in my team, and sometimes I will send them a WhatsApp and they won't answer immediately, obviously, and sometimes they take really long, you know. And at first you're like, okay, I'm a little annoyed that you're not answering back, but at the same time, it's the healthier thing, you know, the healthier thing to do, not be all that, you know, like every minute that you have like a little notification thing that you have to answer, you know, you just be free and ignore the bloody phone, you know. It's it's, I think it might be healthier in that way, you know. And us, that we come from a generation that you know, when nothing of this existed, politeness was necessary, you know, and direct, and it is still necessary, obviously, when you have direct contact with someone, you know. It's but online, maybe not so much. I don't know. It's a balance. It's a balance.
Well, it becomes a habit in many people. So you have to, one has to accept that, because when you see so many people, as you say, not responding, for example, to your message and everything, at one point you say, well, I guess this is how people now will behave. Therefore, I will take that into account, and
and adapt. Yeah, and it's adapting to a new
adapting to a new word, a new word of behavior that everybody has, majority at least, have adopted.
Yeah.
And also we feel this in this story. You also try to show how people sometimes, because they hiding their feelings, they might go all the way to win all kind of things, when in fact, which when in fact it would be the easiest road to that is just so you feel this guy probably was hiding some things, and therefore he was trying very hard to pass on something, so that people or the person in front understands something that you wouldn't say directly. And this is something very it happens a lot to introverted people, you know, maybe writers, I suppose, because you know, we are introverted, and so it's a funny situation, because it's also a very real situation. It happens to so many of us, not to
absolutely. I'm this is I could talk about this for hours. I think writers and artists in general, well, not artists, but probably writers and people who create things from nothing, you know, they're introverts, probably because someone at some point hurt them, you know, someone at some point in their lives made them feel like crap, and they decided that the world and the people were, you know, a bit of a threat, you know, possibly. And I think we've all had that kind of experience, you know. And in this case, in the case of our lead character, that's exactly, you know, that kind of behavior where you don't want to say things straight away directly, what you really feel. And he's afraid of offending, you know, he's afraid of a bad reaction from his boss. And I think that's also very something that happens quite often this day and age, you know. It's being offensive and having someone be offended at you is something that is kind of hard. It's tough, but at the same time, I think it's necessary if you want to. No, I'm not saying look to be offensive. I'm not saying be offensive on purpose. That's stupid, you know. But just say what you feel, and probably someone will think you're a fool, and someone will think you're an idiot, and someone will hate you, and so what, you know. So that's and this character is definitely afraid of saying things straight away, and when he musters the courage to just say it, well, then things happen, you know, then that's, I'm not gonna give away the ending, but you know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Don't give away the ending, but you are really finding comedy in real life through this interaction of the person with his phone and with his trying to communicate, yet having a lot of stumbling in on a lot of so it's a bit psychological, and it's very interesting how a short film can make us reflect on our own on our own situation, or how fragile in fact everyone is, and we see how fragile is this character. But we see also we can sense our own fragility through what we see.
Absolutely. I mean, I think I'm not saying this is a good film, but I think every good film, you know, you have to talk about yourself. When you're writing it, you have to talk about the human experience. You have to talk about people, you know, and you have to have a viewpoint and something that you want to say. And that's, yeah, and of course we are, you know, human. And that's what's interesting, I think, because we don't want to be fragile. We don't want to be fragile. So it's interesting when in films, in comedy or drama or whatever genre, you have a character that thinks he or she is something, or presents himself as something, and then we all see he's just like anyone else, just like everybody else, you know. We all have the same doubts. We're not that different from each other.
Yeah, exactly. But you come from the world of advertising. You I think from what I've read,
no, I used to be an actor. I used to be. Yes. I started out as an actor, and I was mistakenly an actor for 15 years.
Oh, you think it's not something that you want to stick to anymore?
I hated it. I don't do it anymore. I really hated it, but I'm really stubborn, you know, and I thought, you know, I don't know, I started out very young, and it went okay, you know. I got some jobs, and you know, but inside I was feeling really.
Why is that? It's funny how
because I think people are born, I mean, actors and you know, people are born to do different things, you know, and
yeah,
I mean, you can always learn and adapt and learn, but in order to be an actor, you have to be born to be an actor, because there is a component of well, you have to, first of all, you have to take direction, and you have to be, you know, be able to lend yourself to the project and to the director's vision, and that's difficult if you have an ego, and I have an ego. All directors have and you know, and actors have an ego as well, but it's different. It's not in a creative way. Oh, they're gonna kill me, and the actors who see this are gonna just email me and say that I'm an asshole. But actors are more egotistic in, like, look at me, and this is me, and I want to express this, and this is me, you know. But at the same time, they have to lend themselves to the director's vision, and that's a good actor, in my opinion. Directors, we don't like. We just want to make our world true. You know, we have an idea, a vision, and we just want to make that real. And I really hated taking directions from other directors when I was an actor. It's like I hated it. In my head, it was like, this is not good. This is not a good direction, you know. And I was fighting it. So, and then I started directing, and then I found myself in the right place.
But okay, so how did that experience serve your directing experience today? I mean, you say you hated getting directions from directors, fine, Does it mean that now, as a director, you don't give directions, or
no,
or you do it differently so that it gets accepted, or
like no, I do give directions. How would I say it? I have learned to give directions even to actors who hate directions. So that's what I learned, you know, and in a way, I always give actors their space. I always hear and watch their proposals, and their, you know, and I always respect what they bring, and then I just, you know, I think it's good for them to just bring themselves to it and be happy with what they're doing and not feel manipulated or not feel that they're like just a puppet, you know. And then that's it. I mean, basically that's what I learned, you know. I let people do their thing, and then obviously try and, you know, just adjust here and there. But there, I talk a lot now, but on set I try not to talk too much, because when you start talking about the character, talking about blah blah blah, it's all intellectual, and acting is not an intellectual exercise, in my opinion. Or at least if it is, it has to be like the weeks before you shoot, you know. It's like you sit down a couple of weeks or 3 weeks or a month before shooting, and then you talk about it intellectually. But then all those ideas have to come true, have to get into their cells, into their body, into their subconscious, you know. And so on set, I don't talk very much. I just adjust little things, because all the work is done previously, you know.
Okay, that's great. How many films have you done so far? Now are you a fiction filmmaker basically? So and are you in any genre in particular, comedy, or you try different things? Okay.
I try everything, and yeah, it's basically fiction what I do. I've done a couple of documentaries, like short film documentaries, a long time ago at film school, but I definitely focus more on fiction. I love comedy. I've done 2 or 3 comedies, short films. I actually have I'm starting a YouTube channel with comedy sketches as well.
Oh, okay.
It's at the moment it's really small. We started out not long ago, and we have 3 or 4 sketches, not more. But you know, it's just I enjoy myself doing that. It's all really low budget, and you know,
still doing the for the sketches, the directing.
Yeah, yes, writing and directing, and it's all comedy. And then I also do drama, and like this the latest project that I'm working on is a big drama. It's still a short film. It's 15 minutes, but it's drama, and it's about mental health and the laws here in Spain to do with house rentals and that kind of thing. Because we have, in my opinion, we have not very good laws here. They don't help the owners of the houses, and they don't help the tenant. They don't help anybody. It's really badly made, you know. And so
I'm talking connected to the health, mental health.
Yes, it's based on a true story that happened to us. Okay. Yes, it's yeah. We had a tenant who had like mental problems, and ended up dying inside of a house because of
okay.
It's well, this is a comedy festival. Let's not do it. cut.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Listen, if comedy, to be able to make good comedy, you need to be able to feel the pain of a human tragedy. I mean, if you don't feel it, then it's a comedy that it's light, that it's doesn't have much meaning. I mean, it's just trying to make people laugh by making faces or things like that. It's very, I mean, it's the tragedy of our lives that maybe puts us in position to write the best comedies. Maybe, I don't know. Truth.
I think so, absolutely. And being able to laugh at that, you know, being able to laugh at the worst things in life is the best comedy. It's the best, and it's the best medicine, and it's the best, you know, it's because, well, yeah, I mean, otherwise, how else are we going to get through this valley of tears, as we say in Spain?
Yeah, laugh a bit, and you've got energy for the rest of the day because of that, and then you can keep going on with that. And I meant to ask you, you basically are, as you say now, you do different type of genres, but how, in your opinion, you can express yourself through comedy? You can express your ideas, and I mean, this process, how do you manage it? Maybe at the writing part, or also maybe when you are shooting, and how can you connect on that level, making people smile or laugh, or it's your process. How do you, just so that we understand how you work?
I mean, obviously it all starts with the script and an idea and the mood. This is a really tough question because I don't really know. I think life has tragic moments, you know, and I've had very tragic moments in my life, very sad moments and serious moments that they are serious, they are tragic. At the same time, they have their own beauty in them. So that's something that you might want to express through a film. And at the same time, there are so many moments that are just stupid, you know, and they're funny, and they're just, you know, and I don't know. I think, like, obviously life has both things, and it's just it's like saying what do you, life is composed of that, and that's it. And sometimes you talk about one thing, sometimes you talk about the other. How do I get into that mood? I mean, obviously, with comedy, I have to switch off quite a few things, you know, like comedy is you have to be a bit silly, and you have to be in the mood of being silly, you know, and even if the underlying idea is tragic, or it's you know, or what the characters are going through is what you said earlier is tragic. When you're writing it, you cannot be in a tragic mode. You cannot be, you know, you have to be, okay, this is really sad, but let's make something funny out of this. And I don't know. I think it's I don't know. Right now I'm writing a feature film. It's a comedy as well, a script, and it's that both main characters are 40-year-old women who don't have their life together, and it's very sad because it's like tragic. It's like sad to watch them live, you know. It's because they really don't know what they want. Their brains are, you know, their lives are all over the place. They behave like teenagers sometimes, then they are you know, all this kind of thing. And that is, I've met a few people like that in my life, and they tell you how they feel, and they feel terrible. They feel terrible because they don't have a direction, they don't have a purpose, all that kind of thing. But it's so fun to watch. It's so fun, you know. It's how can you get into all this mess, you know what I mean? And it's so fun to watch, you know, and write it. So that's it. I don't know.
So exactly. But it brings you back to the reality of the fact, but still it's fun because it gives it to you as a pill you can drink, you know, as something that is you can accept to get closer without saying, okay, I'm fed up with this. This is too dark for me, or too.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know what you think about it, and it's probably you are probably facing the same thing. More and more movies today are a mix of drama and comedy. Drama gains from bringing in comedic elements, and comedy also gains because it's not just a silly film that we will see from the end to beginning to the end without really experiencing the other emotions, the emotions at the other spectrum, at the other side of the spectrum of our emotions. And I see more and more films using comedy as a tool, and not really as a finality, but which is very good, because comedy is excellent. But in cinema, many people would downgrade it, would think that drama is better than comedy, especially in festivals.
Yeah,
I see this all over the world, where in the programming comedies are very there aren't that many comedies in general type of festivals. But now with these type of movies where you can have this right mix, then the comedy is coming very strong also. You know, in many movies we can appreciate comedy through very serious themes. Sometimes, yeah,
as you say, you know, it's if you find the right balance, and I think the audience, any audience would appreciate both that balance, you know, between drama and comedy. And I think if it's well done, it reaches the subconscious, and it reaches the audiences much more effectively. No, if it's just a drama, or if it's just, because having an hour and a half of drama, of pure drama, with no comic relief or no, you know, or no, it's just exhausting, you know.
It's really exhausting.
And the other way around, it's the same. If you just have laugh, you know, like comedy, at some point it's like, guys, okay, you're fun, but let's have some downtime here. So yeah, absolutely, that's more effective. And I think if it's well balanced, which is hard to, I mean, I think that the tough bit about that is balancing it out correct, you know, in an effective way, because sometimes people go like, no, let's just push this drama here. It's like, come, why are they getting serious right now? You know, they were just I don't know, they were just peeing or whatever, you know, they were just doing something absolutely ridiculous, and now they're getting serious. Come on. You know, so it's tough to get that right balance, you know, I think, but when they do, it's great. And in terms of festivals and their likes and dislikes, I have no idea. You know, like, what I've learned in the last few years is that there is no rhyme or reason to anything, to any of what the festivals select or don't select. Or, you know, I'm really happy and grateful that my films are being seen and watched. But I think every festival is their own little world, and it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we all have these kind of feelings, as a matter of fact, dealing with festivals, because it's true that it's almost at the end you feel it's like a lottery, you know. You feel like whatever criteria they may talk about, or at the end there is no way to connect that with the decisions made, and
which is, I think it's, in a way, if you get rid of that burden of thinking what's going to be liked or not, if you really can, inside of yourself, inside of your soul and your brain, going like, I don't care what they like or not, and I'm just going to express what I want to express and make what I want to make, that's the greatest feeling. That's the way to go. because I understand that most filmmakers, they want to make it. They want to make it big. They want to, you know, they want to win the Palme d'Or at Cannes, or they want to win an Oscar or whatever. I understand. I do too. I'm not going to lie. I do too. But if your work is influenced by that feeling and that desire, then your work is not going to be that good. In my opinion. You have to be free. You have to be free to that. We are in a time at this moment. We're in a time where filmmaking is so, in a way, it can be so cheap. You know, in a way, you know, you can make a film with a small camera and a small crew, and not spending too much, and we have all this technology and social networks and YouTube and loads and platforms, and so it's a time where we should be much freer creatively. I mean, because it's so easy to show your work to people, and I think it's the time to be free. It's the time to be creative and obviously make all sorts of things, good, bad, you know, but try your best and absolutely not get entangled with all the prizes, all the awards, Oscars, Cannes, because that makes for an unhappy life as a director.
Plus, I would add maybe that these famous places that usually people want to go to set their own standards, and they sell their standards through this selection process. And at the end, if you want it really bad, you end up maybe changing your own perspective, because you say, okay, yeah, I need a film that can go to Cannes.
Yeah.
I need a film that I'm proud of, or that I, you know,
that or something that I want to talk about, something that I want to express. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna look. I'm saying this because I've been in that place. You know, as a filmmaker, I've been in that place of, oh, I really want to make it in the festival circuit, and I'm going to write something. And I have made films, and I have made short films with a little bit of that intoxication, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a terrible experience. The film wasn't good. I don't know.
You weren't very happy with it.
It was a waste of time, of energy. It was terrible. Why would you make a film like that? You know, it's ridiculous. And that, well, that's my experience. I'm not saying I'm not perfect in that way. I am influentiable. I don't know if that word exists. I'm being, you know, but I try not to be. I try not to be. I think we all do this, or we all. I don't know. I do this because I want to be free. That's what I want to do.
Well, it's very nice to hear your perspective, because independent filmmakers and we kind of pride ourselves to be a festival for independent comedy filmmakers. We feel that at the end it's really freedom of expression that should bring the work to the festival, and obviously this is what also our audience, larger audience, wants to see. I mean, and therefore there is a big audience for that, Morocco and elsewhere, and one has maybe to connect to that audience, as you were saying. Maybe the only pledge a movie maker or filmmaker can have is towards his audience, or the audience for his films, because obviously we don't make films for ourselves. We have the film in our head, but when we let it come out is for the others. So we need to find these others, and these others are certainly not the festivals, because festivals have other constraints, other parameters that they put into their thinking to come out with it's not like a simple audience who would watch your film because they like it, or decide not to finish it because they feel it's not for them. I think one has to be more loyal to this, to me, or at least to me. This is how I see it also.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. I mean, films are made for the audiences. That's it, and we have to be respectful with the audiences, and we have to, and sometimes I don't know how it is in Morocco, but sometimes here in Spain I feel that people think that the audience is stupid. The audiences are stupid, you know. They will, and they're not. They're not. You know, people, all sorts of people from all walks of life understand most things.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna, you know, Shakespeare did that. Shakespeare wrote for everybody, for the kings or for the queens and the peasants, you know, and that's how it should be. And when you're writing just for the elites and intellectual elites and whatever, most of the time the film is boring, you know, even for an educated audience, you know, because you have to be respectful, and we have a duty towards the audience you don't want to waste their time, and you don't want to waste their money, and that's how it should be, I think.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. On these words, maybe we can finish this conversation today. Thank you so much for being with us, and hopefully, Pablo, we can see at least I wish the best success to your film in our festival, and hopefully your festival will go in many other places and meet many other audiences. And once you've made a new comedy, please think of Rabat-Comedy to showcase it, and we'll be very happy to again interact and see how you have evolved in your career. Thank you again, and the best luck to you in your work, and talk to you very soon.
Thank you very much. Have a great festival. Have fun, and it's been a huge pleasure.
Yes, thank you very much.